Hello and welcome. I'm Debbie Danford from craftiercreations.blogspot.com, and today I'm popping in with a cute little card holder, card folio, whatever you want to call it. And this technically would tie here. I had it untied so I could look at kind of what I did before. So this would tie like this, but this would make a cute little gift for a coworker, neighborhood, a neighbor, just a thank you. And I'll show you, easy peasy, I will show you what the cards look like on the inside. Now I use the Gallery Blooms set. So what I did is 2 cards with the, I want to say this is a peony, but I could be wrong. And then I used the phrases from the Beautiful Motifs. So these two are both like in a suite together. Right now, this one is unavailable to order, but will be back in, I think, August 4th. So you only have a couple weeks and it will be back in. I used the strawberry slush and basic black here on these, and very simple. And then I did some flicking with the Stampin' Write markers. And then the other two are with this little thistle piece. I don't exactly know what it is, but I call it a thistle piece. And again, phrases from the Beautiful Motifs. They all come from there. And I didn't stamp on the envelopes, but you certainly could. Easy peasy little portfolio type thing that you can fold up, tie it shut, and you've got a great little gift here. So let me go ahead and show you how easy this is to make. Now we're going to use Secret C this time to stamp with, and then our card base is going to be cloud cover. Let me move these out of the way. I don't have them both on blocks, but I'll get the other one out in just a second here. Let's move that out of the way. I did stamp with this. I was trying to see what color I wanted to use. So let's make the folio first. So I have already pre-scored this, and it's scored at 5 and 6, but let's just double check that. Yes, 5 and 6, and then you turn it on the short side and you score it 2 1/4. And then what you're going to do is burnish these folds really good. So you just want to get them all nice and crisp here. And then this just folds up like this and folds like that. And there's your little folio. Now, if you don't like the flaps kind of flapping open a little bit like they do right here on the end, you could put a little piece, a little glue dot, a little piece of tear and tape, whatever you want to kind of keep that closed. It doesn't bother me so much because you kind of close it up anyway. But you could do that if you wanted to. Okay, so there's that part. So now let's just flip this over, and this is our front right here. We're going to work in a flat surface here. This is going to be our first layer. And this piece here is 4 3/4 by 6. So this is going to go down right here. So let's just go ahead and attach that. Like I said, once you make one of these, they are so easy to put together. It's one of the quickest little card holders you can make, honestly, because there's not any cutting. Now there's another style out there too where you kind of cut some these up a little bit with some V shapes. I can't remember exactly. It's been a while since I've made it. Well, if I could get this piece on straight. There we go. Okay. And then this layering piece of cloud cover is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And originally, on my original one, I did emboss this with the damask embossing folder that goes with this suite. But I think this time I'm just going to leave it. I forgot to go emboss it, was part of it. So we're just going to go ahead and attach this here. Now, you've got some good landscape here. If you wanted to die cut some things out of this first, you certainly could to use up some of that. I wasn't thinking about it, or I would have. And then we're going to be doing some stamping. So I'm going to set, oh shoot, Debbie. Debbie, Debbie, Debbie. Well, so actually well, we're going to wait. We need to put our ribbon on, but we'll put it on under this layer. Originally, I had put it under this cloud cover layer. So what you want to do is take, let's see how much ribbon we used here, just so I can give you an idea, because this is a good amount. We used about 24 inches of ribbon. So this will go, so we don't forget, I'm going to go ahead and attach it. And like I said, you can attach it underneath any one of these layers. It doesn't really matter. I was getting ahead of myself. So we're going to put it under this layer this time. So all I did is you can take a little bit of adhesive. You can take a piece of tear and tape. It doesn't really matter because it'll get stuck down there anyway. I just want to make sure I kind of have it centered. Yep, I do. And that's it. You're not going to attach the ribbon anyplace else. You can put a little glue dot or something back here if you want to, but I usually don't. But you certainly can. Okay. So there's our ribbon. And we're off-centered just a little bit, but I think it'll still be fine. Okay, now let's set that aside. And now we're going to bring in, let me bring in a piece of scrap paper here. This is our front for the folio box. And then here's going to be our other 4 card fronts, because we're going to do our stamping all at the same time. So what we're going to do is bring in our Secret C. And we're going to stamp the front one. This is going to be the front of the folio. And you can stamp it however you want. And you could stamp it more than once. You don't have to stick to just the one. But I was trying to make something very, very simple. Okay, so there's our front. Now we want 2 more with this. Now you could do them all with the same image if you wanted, but I decided to use, 2 different images from the set. So we're going to go ahead and stamp this one here. And then we'll stamp our phrase here in a minute. We'll just do all the stamping of the flowers first, and then we'll do our phrases. And then we'll stamp this one here. Whoops. Okay, that's so pretty. This Secret C is really, really pretty. It looks black, kind of, but it's a really dark blue, and I love how it looks. I think it's a great alternative for a very dark color. Okay, so I'm going to clean this up really quick with our chamois, which if you don't have a chamois, these are great to clean with. And the nice thing is, normally, like all the ones I have for my classes that are in containers like this, I cut it in half and just have halves in each one, because you don't really have to keep it this big. I don't know why this one I didn't cut down, but they're great, because even though they start out looking very beautiful, light purple color, and then they turn into this. But all you have to do is get it wet, rinse it out. I know some people run them through their dishwasher. I haven't done that, but I know some people do. So let's see, I'm going to pull this off. Well, you know what? I'm going to have to pull it off. Yeah. I haven't unpacked. I had a class yesterday. Actually, I had 3 classes yesterday, and I have not unpacked blocks and stuff out of the boxes yet. I unloaded it, but I didn't get any further than that. I was like, wait, I'm missing one. Because we're gonna stamp on the inside piece too of the card, but we'll get to that. So then this one will go here. And then this one will go here. Okay, and just to show you what I did on the inside. So here's our front, and then there's what I did on the inside. Kind of just stamped the same thing. So let's go ahead, since I have this one on the block, let's pull 2 of these, and let's stamp our inside. And I'm going to do a little bit of 1, 2, 3 there. First, second, third generation stamping. And we might do a little bit of blending or something on that in a minute too. We'll see. Okay, let's clean that. See, I cleaned the other one and I didn't need to yet because I still needed to stamp the inside, but sometimes that happens. So if you are on my email list, you would have got an email yesterday, or sorry, Tuesday it came out, that we have free shipping going on right now until Friday, July 25th. So over $75. So it's a great time to, you know, stock up on some things if you need to. Adhesive, envelopes, things like that, cardstock. Because you don't have to pay that 11% shipping. Okay, now let's bring these two back in and let's go ahead and stamp the inside. There's one of them. And there's two of them. And this one I didn't do the first, second, third. Okay, I'll just set that aside for now. Now, let's bring these back in. And let's make sure that these are on straight. Like that is not straight, Debbie. Okay, and let's do just a note on one of them. And that is not on straight. I usually use my grid paper because it helps you line it up nice and straight. Okay, and let's do Thinking of You. Pretty. Okay, there's those two. And then we have Celebrate. And we'll stamp that one right down here. Celebrate, and then I did Hello. Oops. As you can see, I need to wash these to get the grime off of them because I use all 4 of these phrases out of this set a lot. I really like them. Okay. And then we have Hello. Okay. There's our 4 phrases. I think that's it for the stamping. So let's go ahead and close this up so I don't drop something in it like I did last night. Dropped a card and fell over into an ink pad, and it was like, oh, well. Now, you can use the Stampin' Blends, or I have found the Stampin' Right markers, the brush tip works really well to do this little flicking technique. So I'm going to kind of open this up just a little bit more. And move these out of the way. Just set them over here. Just so when I start flicking it doesn't get everywhere. Now, I was thinking I might do cloud cover with it, but I'm not sure yet. I'm going to start with the Secret C. And you just take the brush tip and your cap, and you kind of just do this, and it does go everywhere. And you put as much as you want on there, and that's pretty much it. So there's one. I want to make sure I'm doing the right ones. Okay, these are all the inside or the outside pieces. Okay, there's 2, and you can do this as heavy or as light as you want if you don't want a whole lot of flicking on it. And you don't even have to do this part if you don't want to, but I thought it just added a little bit of texture to the background of a very simple card, honestly. Okay, so there's those 4. I'm not even going to try the cloud cover. I decided against that. Now, if you wanted, you could do a little bit of flicking right here. It's just hard to get it like right in that spot. Whoops, we forgot to do, this is our folio front piece. Okay, that one goes on the front. Just set that one over there. Actually, oh, I can't believe what I just did. You guys are going to see it. So this is my inside piece. I dropped the cap, which had ink on it. I'll turn it over and stamp on the other side. See, accidents happen with all of us. What was I just saying? I close up my ink pad so I don't drop a card into it, but instead I drop the cap on it. So let's do this again. There's that. Let's get this out of the way. And let me see if I can just kind of direct it just to kind of be right there in that corner. Yeah, I kind of like that. So let's bring in another one. I'm getting ink all over my fingers, so I'm now trying to be very careful. And you'll still be able to write a greeting and stuff on there, or stamp a greeting and write, you know, whatever you want on there. There's that one. And I'm turning it upside down like this because then I can kind of direct the flicking right in that little area for the most part. As you see, it's getting kind of everywhere. Okay. Just wiping that off just in case there's ink all over it. All right, now we are going to do some assembly here. So let's bring our folio back in. And we are going to attach this to here. And make sure you've attached your piece of ribbon. And like I said, the ribbon could have gone on at any given time in between any of those layers. Okay, so there's that. That's pretty much the front of our card. I think this one we're going to add some bling to it. I didn't on this one, but I think we'll add some ink color bling here. Okay, so here's our card bases. We've got 4 secret C four secret C pieces that are 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. And then we've got 4 cloud cover pieces that are 4 by 5 1/4. Again, you've got some free landscape there. If you want to do a little bit of die cutting on it, you can. Okay, and then we're going to just we're going to layer this on here. Okay, there's one. We'll just do all of these in at the same time. We'll just keep our steps going kind of together here. So let's layer this second one up. And again, you could emboss this piece if you wanted to add a little bit more texture to it. I didn't, but you certainly could. And if you're not on my mailing list, there will be a link below, because that is the best way to keep up on Stampin' Up! Sales and promotions, free shipping, things like that, and any of my card classes that I offer. And I'm pretty much what you would call a hybrid. So I do in-person classes and I do virtual classes. So this Gallery of Blooms and the Beautiful Motifs is I actually have one more packet left. It's the class my friend Tracy and I she's on the East Coast, I'm on the West Coast, and we call it East Meets West Creativity Kit. And that's what we're using on August 3rd, 4th, whatever the day, the first Saturday in August. I want to say the 3rd, but it could be the 4th. See, now all of a sudden the date is escaping me. And I have one more packet left. So if you're interested in that, send me an email or a message, and yeah, we can get that figured out, because like I said, I have one more. Okay, then these are going to go on top here, just like this. And it's got 8 projects, and you get the PDF. Tracy and I go live via Zoom on a private Facebook group, and but we record it so that we can post it back out there again, since Facebook doesn't keep recordings for more than 30 days, we post the videos back out there so that you can go watch them anytime you want. So if you can't be there all day with us, which it's not quite all day, we start at 10 Pacific time and it goes till usually around 2:30 or 3. Just kind of depends on how much chatting we do and the difficulty of the projects sometimes. Felt like I had another layer there. Okay. And you know, one other thing about the free shipping, if you're a scrapbooker or are thinking about getting into scrapbooking, and we just had, last week was the virtual scrapbooking retreat that Stampin' Up! Put on. Now, I didn't get a chance to do it live with them because I was out of town. I do have it and I'm still going to do it, but you can still get it. It is still available, and today or tomorrow would be a perfect time to order that kit because you wouldn't pay shipping on that $225 12-month scrapbooking kit. So that would be free shipping on that, which would be a huge savings. You know, that's over almost $25 in shipping that you would save. Okay, there's those 4. Now we're going to flip these and we're going to do our inside. So let's make sure we put the right ones in on the inside. There's that one. Here's the one I dropped the cap on, but 2 sides to every piece of paper, so. And then these I will fold. There's that one. There's that one. Okay, and let's get this one attached, and then we're going to add a little bit of ribbon and a little bit of bling. Okay, there's that one. Easy peasy, a simple little set of cards that, you know, would make a great gift, but, you know, you didn't slave for hours making it. Okay, there's that one. Now, let's go ahead and grab, and all I did is cut very simple little ribbon here. Just did the half knot thing and trimmed it up. And then you can attach it with glue dots, and I'm just going to attach it right there. You can attach it with tear and tape, whatever your favorite is. I tend to use glue dots, but my friend Tracy uses tear and tape, and I have done it a few times, and I actually kind of like it, but I think today, to make it quicker, I'm just going to put a couple little glue dots on right here. And then we're going to put that one down right there. Okay, and then we're going to do the same thing again. Like I said, I kept it very easy, simple. Trim those off. Okay, and a couple more little glue dots. That one right there. That one's fraying a little bit there, but I might have cut that one a little too short. We'll see. I may have to go back and replace that one. I try not to get too short with them. This ribbon does fray really easy, I've noticed. Okay. Then we will put... bring these back in. Let's get glue dots and one more here. Now I didn't put one on the front of the folio, but you certainly could. So I'm kind of looking at it. I'm thinking, should I? I think we'll definitely put some bling on this time though. We'll use some of the in color Secret C. There's this one. So this is one of the projects that we didn't pick to make for our East Meets West class. I mean, we both had so many, it was hard to choose when it came right down to it. Okay, there's that. So let's get these scraps out of the way. Let me grab my In Color bling here. Oops, wrong one. I think this is it. 25 to 27. Whew, I barely don't have very many left of the Secret C, but we're going to make it work. Okay, let's see. I don't know what happened to my... Oh, I bet my Take Your Pick tool is still in my bag from yesterday. So I'm using my scissors. I like using my Take Your Pick tool, but I'm using my scissors. And I'm using every one of the sizes because I don't have very many left of this color. Clearly, I've been using this color a lot. There's one. And we'll do one more. I was thinking of doing like 2 or 3 on here, but I don't have 2 or 3 to put on. Now, I could have tried some Secret C on there. I don't like that as well. We'll just leave it like that. Put one little one on each one. And actually, we're going to go ahead and put some on the front here. I'm going to have to buy some more of these, except right now they're unavailable. Just so I have the Secret C color. Okay. Oh, I like that with the bling on there. Added just that little bit to it. Okay, then we're going to go ahead and grab 4 envelopes here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And like I said, if you wanted to, you could stamp on your envelopes. You know, you could stamp in the corner in the front. You could stamp right here, anywhere you want. I don't usually do that only because I don't usually put envelopes with my cards until I go to use them. But you certainly could. Then you've got these 2 here. Go on one side. These 2 here. Go on the other side like that. And then you just close it up. And like I said, you could put little glue dots or a little bit of tear and tape right there. I don't bother. I think it'll pop up. It depending on how many layers or how much you pop anything up on the inside. I don't know if those little corners would stay, but I don't worry about it. And then you just tie this up in a cute little bow. Let's see if I can manage to do that today. And remember, I didn't get it quite centered, so hopefully I'm not going to end up being too short on... There we go. There. And we're just going to trim that piece off just a little bit, and I'm not going to take much off that end. Okay. This one's a little bit longer still. I just didn't want to trim it too close. Okay, there you go. There's our cute little card folio. And let me bring in the other one that I did. I like with the bling on there. I think that added a whole lot to it. I may go back and add some on here. This one I didn't use the Strawberry Slush ribbon. I used the ribbon we were using in our class, and I just colored it with Strawberry Slush. So with a blending brush. So it just is a lighter effect of the ribbon, which I like. But there you go. There's our cute little folio for today. Hopefully you like this and you make a whole bunch of them because, like I said, they are easy peasy to make. And you could make your card, you could just do designer series paper, you know, with a greeting or something on each one. It doesn't have to necessarily be stamped. The sky's the limit on how you could, you know, turn these little folios into some great little gifts. All right. Thank you so much for joining me. And don't forget to like, follow, and share. I truly appreciate everybody that does that for me. It just adds more numbers out there on my count. And I will be back again next week. So I hope you guys all have a great weekend, and I will see you next week. Bye, guys.